Today, 5 aviation disasters caused not by mechanical failure but human error stay until the end. The final case is truly shocking.
The mist hampered would-be rescuers throughout the night. When it lifted with the dawn, even those who'd been on the scene through the hours of darkness were shocked by the carnage. Both aircraft had been ripped into pieces. Few and far between of the many thousands of these pieces were those recognizable as having only a few hours before been part of an aircraft. The runway was carpeted with the pieces of wreckage, mingled with the remnants of passengers' personal baggage. The pictures can show this horror. They can't convey the stench of the dead, of the smouldering still of the 2 aircraft, a stench which hung over the airport long after the last flames had died and the last bodies had been removed. Once this task had been completed, the workers seemed, not surprisingly, to hardly know what...
Well, my first thought was, wait, the fire engines would come out there. But then it got so bad where we were, and we knew they weren't coming, that we had to get off. And I knew that I wasn't going to stay in there and burn up.
And how does it feel to be a survivor in what is the world's largest air crash?
It feels great to be alive. I'd be lying if I said anything else.
March 27, 1977, Tenerife, Canary Islands. 2 Boeing 747s arrived at a small airport that was never built to handle that kind of traffic. Both planes were originally flying to Las Palmas, but after a bomb incident in the destination airport, flights were diverted to Tenerife North, also known as Los Rodeos Airport. As the airport became overcrowded and chaotic, the weather suddenly turned deadly. A thick fog rolled in, reducing visibility to almost zero. Pilots could barely see ahead, and air traffic control was struggling to manage aircraft on limited taxiways. KLM Flight 4805 was instructed to taxi first and prepare for departure. The massive 747 entered the runway and turned around at the end, ready to take off. Behind them, Pan Am Flight 1736 was also taxiing, but because there wasn't enough space, Pan Am had to follow the KLM on the same runway, then exit at a specific intersection. In the fog, that simple plan started falling apart. The Pan Am crew could not clearly find the correct exit. A modern Airbus A330 vanished over the Atlantic, and the most terrifying part is this: the plane was still flyable. Air France Flight 447 took off from Rio de Janeiro to Paris and then vanished over the Atlantic Ocean. But the scariest part is this: the plane wasn't broken. At 38,000 feet, the autopilot disengaged after the airspeed sensors froze, and within seconds, one wrong move turned a controllable situation into a deadly stall. For more than 3 minutes, the pilots fought the aircraft without realizing what was really happening. 228 lives were lost, not because of failure, but because of human error. Air France 447, maintaining flight level 350. Air France 447, roger. Request deviation left due to weather. Approved. Report back on course. Wilco. Altitude, we're dropping. Pull up. Power, we're too low. Pull up. Pull up. We're too low. On December 29, 1972, Eastern Airlines Flight 401 was approaching Miami, flying from New York. It was a Lockheed L-1011 TriStar with 176 people on board. The flight was completely normal until one small warning light in the cockpit turned everything into a disaster. As the aircraft prepared to land, the crew noticed that the landing gear indicator light was not showing green. That simple bulb was supposed to confirm the nose gear was locked and down. Instead of focusing on flying, flying, the cockpit became obsessed with the problem. The pilots and flight engineer began troubleshooting the light, checking systems, discussing possibilities, convinced the landing gear might not be deployed. But the terrifying truth was this: the landing gear was actually down. The problem was just the indicator bulb. While the crew focused on the tiny light, nobody was properly monitoring the aircraft's altitude and autopilot settings. During the distraction, the plane slowly began descending. It was so gradual that no one noticed at first. New York Center, Avianca 052. We're running out of fuel. Avianca 052. Expect further clearance. Negative. We're running out of fuel. We need priority. Stand by. Mayday. Mayday. We've lost all engines. On January 25, 1990, Avianca Flight 052 was approaching New York after a long flight from Bogota to Medellin and then to JFK. The Boeing 707 was running dangerously low on fuel, but bad weather and heavy traffic forced the plane into multiple holding patterns. Minute by minute, the situation became critical. Moments later, all 4 engines flamed out. The aircraft lost power completely and began gliding silently through the night. The pilots fought for control, trying to reach the airport without engines, but it was too late. Avianca 052 crashed in Cove Neck, Long Island. 73 people were on board, 9 were killed, dozens were injured.
Avianca 052, heavy New York, good evening, climb maintain 3000.
We're climbing maintain 3000 and we're running out of fuel.
Okay, fly heading at 080. And Avianca 052, heavy, I'm going to bring you about 15 miles northeast and then turn you back on for the approach. Is that fine with you and your fuel?
I guess so, thank you very much.
Avianca 52, climb maintain 3000.
Negative, sir, we're just running out of fuel. We're good. Okay, 3000, I'll be good.
Okay, turn left heading 310, sir.
310, Avianca 052. Avianca 052, we just lost 2 engines and we need the priority, please.
Avianca 052, turn left heading 250, intercept the localizer.
Roger.
Avianca 052, you have enough fuel to make it to the airport? Avianca 052, radar contact lost.
On December 28, 1978, United Airlines Flight 173 was flying from Denver to Portland. Everything was normal until the crew prepared to land, but as the landing gear was lowered, a warning indicated a possible gear malfunction. The aircraft entered a holding pattern over Portland, while the crew tried to troubleshoot the problem. United 173 crashed into a wooded area near Portland. 189 people were on board. 10 were killed.
Heavy, did you figure anything out yet about how much longer? Yeah, I have indication gear is abnormal. It would be our intention in about 5 minutes to land on 28 left. We would like the equipment standing by. Our indications are that the gear is down and locked. We've got our people prepared for an evacuation in the event that should become necessary. United 173 is going to turn toward the airport and come on in.
Okay, now you want to do it on a visual, is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay, United 173 heavy, turn left heading 360 and verify you do have the airport inside.
We do have the airport in sight. 163 heavy. 173 heavy.
173 heavy is cleared visual approach, runway 28 left.
Clear visual, 28 left. How far you show us from the field?
I'd call it 18 flying miles.
All right. What's our distance now?
12 flying miles from here.
Okay. United 173 heavy, mayday, mayday. The engines are flaming out. We're going down. We're not going to be able to make the airport.
United 173 heavy, Roger.